Do not leave these words too quickly, because what I am about to speak to your heart may help you understand why you have survived days you once thought would destroy you. Stay with me until the end. Do not listen with fear. Do not listen while measuring your life against someone else's life. Listen with an open heart, because I want to show you how to walk differently from this moment forward. I want to teach you how to protect your peace, how to respond when disappointment comes, and how to keep moving when the answer to your prayer appears delayed. There are things you have carried silently. There are questions you have repeated in the privacy of your thoughts. There have been mornings when you stood up, continued your responsibilities, and smiled before people who never knew how exhausted you felt inside. I saw every one of those moments. I heard the prayer you could not finish. I understood the tears that came before you found the words to explain your pain. You have wondered whether I remembered the dreams that once filled your heart with excitement. You have asked yourself whether too much time has passed. You have looked at your circumstances and thought that perhaps you missed your opportunity. Hear me clearly. A difficult season does not erase the purpose I have placed within you. A delay does not mean that your life has become meaningless. A closed door does not give you permission to bury every good desire and call yourself defeated. I want you to learn something valuable today. Stop making permanent conclusions during temporary moments of pain. When you are tired, your thoughts can become heavier than your actual situation. When you are wounded, one rejection can make you believe everyone will reject you. When you are disappointed, one failed plan can make you believe every future plan will fail. This is why I am calling your attention back to me. My child, I want you to remember who you are when circumstances try to give you another identity. You are not the insult someone spoke over you. You are not the opportunity you lost. You are not the relationship that ended. You are not the mistake that still embarrasses you when you remember it. You are not the opinion of a person who never took time to understand your heart. You are mine, and because you are mine, I am teaching you to rise with wisdom instead of reacting with bitterness. I have watched you fight battles without announcing them. I have seen you enter rooms while carrying private worries. I know how often you have encouraged others while needing encouragement yourself. But now I want you to apply my words to your life. When anxiety tells you that everything must be solved today, refuse to obey that pressure. Take the next faithful step. Do what is within your responsibility and place what you cannot control into my hands. You lose precious strength when you repeatedly fight tomorrow's battles in today's mind. I am not asking you to ignore your responsibilities. I am teaching you to face them with a peaceful spirit. There are people who will misunderstand your quietness. There are people who may interpret your kindness as weakness. There are people who will see one chapter of your story and speak as though they know the entire book. Do not spend your life chasing every person who has formed a wrong opinion about you. If correction is necessary, speak truth with wisdom. If an apology is necessary, humble yourself and give it sincerely. But when you have done what is right, continue walking. You cannot build the future I am leading you toward while constantly returning to old rooms to defend yourself. I know that you want answers. I know that sometimes you want a clear sign before taking another step. Yet faith often grows when you choose obedience before you see the entire road. A lamp does not need to illuminate 1,000 miles to help you move forward. Light for the next step is enough to begin, so stop despising small progress. The phone call you have been afraid to make may be a step. The application you keep postponing may be a step. The honest conversation you need to have may be a step. The habit you need to leave may be a step. The prayer you need to pray without pretending may be a step. Move with wisdom. Move with humility. Move with me. You have spent enough time comparing your timeline with the timeline of others. Their success is not evidence of your failure. Their open door does not mean I have forgotten your address. Their celebration does not cancel what I am doing within you. Comparison steals attention from the work that is already in your hands. Look again at your life. What have I taught you through your struggle? Where have you become stronger? What pattern have you finally recognized? What boundary do you now understand you need? What gift have you neglected because you were too busy watching someone else's gift? These questions matter. I want to restore your focus. Not every opportunity deserves your yes. Not every argument deserves your voice. Not every invitation deserves your presence. Not every person's approval deserves your pursuit. You must learn to guard the condition of your heart. If you constantly feed your mind with fear, gossip, anger, and comparison, do not be surprised when peace becomes difficult to feel. Choose carefully what you allow to remain within you. Open my word. Pray before your day becomes noisy. Sit in quietness long enough to recognize the difference between panic and wisdom. Ask me to guide your decisions, and then be willing to change direction when I correct you. I am not finished teaching you. Your tears have not made you useless. Your waiting has not made you invisible. Even now, I am developing patience where you once reacted too quickly. I am developing discernment where you once trusted every promise. I am developing courage where fear once controlled your decisions. This growth may not always feel dramatic, but it is valuable. One day, you will respond peacefully to something that once would have destroyed your entire week, and you will realize how much you have changed. Stay until the end of this message because I want to speak about your past, your family, your waiting, and the peace you have been asking me to restore. Do not merely hear these words as comforting sounds. Apply them. Write down what needs to change. Forgive where I lead you to forgive. Set a healthy boundary where wisdom requires it. Pray before reacting. Rest before exhaustion makes decisions for you. Begin again where fear convinced you to stop. If these words have brought peace to your heart, say, "I receive your guidance," in the comments. Let your response be a simple expression of faith. And if you feel happy and strengthened by my words, like this video, subscribe and share this message with someone who needs encouragement. If you desire to support my ministry and help these messages continue reaching hearts that need hope, you may use the support link given below. Give only from a willing and peaceful heart. Now remain with me, because I have more to tell you, and the next words will help you understand why your past must no longer control your future. I know there is a part of your past that you do not like to visit. You may speak confidently about many things, yet when a certain memory returns, your heart becomes quiet. You remember what you should have said. You remember what you wish you had never done. You remember the moment when you trusted the wrong person, ignored wisdom, or made a decision while confused. Sometimes you punish yourself by replaying that chapter as though repeating it will somehow change it. But listen to me. You cannot heal yesterday by wounding yourself today. I am calling you out of the courtroom you have built within your own mind. You stand there as the accused, the witness, and the judge. You collect evidence against yourself. You remember every weakness while forgetting every lesson you have learned. You speak to yourself in ways you would never speak to someone you love. This must change. Repentance is not the same as endless self-condemnation. When you recognize that you have done wrong, come to me sincerely. Do not hide behind excuses. Do not blame everyone else. Tell me the truth. Ask for forgiveness. Make right what you can make right. Learn from what happened. Then walk forward with humility. My child, I am not asking you to pretend that your choices had no consequences. I am teaching you that consequences do not have to become your identity. You can learn, you can grow, you can become wiser. You can recognize a trap before entering it again. You can stop returning to the same environment that repeatedly weakens your convictions. You can choose different conversations, different habits, and different responses. This is how you apply faith to your life. Faith is not merely saying that you believe in me. Faith also changes the direction of your feet. There are doors you keep asking me to close while your hand remains on the handle. There are habits you ask me to remove while you continue feeding them every day. There are relationships you know are filled with manipulation, confusion, and constant disrespect. Yet you fear loneliness so deeply that you tolerate what is destroying your peace. I want you to become honest with yourself. Ask what repeatedly pulls you away from peace, wisdom, integrity, and prayer. Then stop romanticizing what harms you. You do not need to hate people to create distance. You do not need to become cruel to establish a boundary. You do not need to announce every decision publicly. Sometimes wisdom is quiet. Sometimes growth looks like no longer answering an argument with another argument. Sometimes freedom begins when you stop checking what a person is saying about you. Sometimes healing begins when you remove yourself from a cycle you have defended for years. Do not confuse familiarity with safety. You can become familiar with chaos. You can become familiar with being disrespected. You can become familiar with constant anxiety until peace feels strange. I am teaching you a new rhythm. I want you to recognize peace without becoming suspicious of it. I want you to enjoy a quiet day without inventing a problem. I want you to receive love without immediately expecting betrayal. This will take time, and I will be patient with you, but you must also practice what I teach you. When a painful memory rises, do not immediately surrender the entire day to it. Notice it. Bring it to me. Ask yourself what is true now. You are not standing in the same moment. You may have new wisdom. You may have new choices. You may have people who support you now. Breathe slowly. Pray. Return your attention to the responsibility before you. This is not denial. This is learning that a memory does not have authority to command your entire life. I also want you to forgive wisely. Forgiveness does not always mean returning to the same relationship in the same way. It does not mean pretending trust was never damaged. Trust may need to be rebuilt through consistent actions. Reconciliation requires truth, humility, and willingness from people involved. But do not carry hatred as though it protects you. Hatred is a heavy guard that eventually becomes a prison. Release vengeance into my hands. You can pursue justice where necessary without allowing bitterness to become your daily food. I saw what they did. I heard what they said. I know which promise was broken. I know how deeply disappointment entered your heart. But I also know what bitterness will do if you nurture it. It will make every new person pay for the actions of an old person. It will make you interpret kindness through suspicion. It will keep your body tense and your mind constantly preparing for danger. I want to free you from that cycle. Begin with one honest prayer. You do not have to manufacture an emotion you do not feel. Tell me, God, I am still hurt. Teach me how to release this. That prayer is more valuable than pretending. Then, each time the desire for revenge returns, bring it back to me. Forgiveness may be a decision you reinforce repeatedly while your emotions slowly heal. I am also restoring the way you see yourself. Stop introducing yourself to your future through the language of your past. Stop saying, I always ruin everything. Stop saying, nothing works for me. Stop saying, I will never change. Your words shape the atmosphere of your thoughts. Speak truth. Say, I am learning. Say, I can make a wiser decision today. Say, I can ask for help. Say, I can begin again. Say, God is teaching me. I want you to watch this message until the final word because I am leading you towards something practical. In the next part, I will speak about waiting, delayed answers, and the temptation to force doors open before you are ready. Many of your tears have come from believing that delay means rejection. I want to correct that thought. Before we continue, if you agree that your past will no longer be allowed to control every decision you make, type, Amen. I will move forward. Write it with intention. Let it remind you of the choice you are making today. And comment one word that describes what you are asking me to restore in your heart: peace, courage, focus, hope, or faith. Your response may also encourage another person who is reading and quietly fighting a similar battle. Remain here. Do not leave yet. I am going to speak directly to the place in you that has grown tired of waiting. You have asked me why it is taking so long. You have prayed, waited, tried again, and watched other people receive opportunities while your situation appeared unchanged. You have said, God, I trust you. And then, 5 minutes later, your mind began calculating every possible disaster. I know this conflict. Your spirit desires peace, but your thoughts keep demanding a deadline. You want me to tell you exactly when the door will open, exactly how the answer will arrive, and exactly who will be involved. Yet if I gave you every detail, you might place your confidence in the plan instead of learning to place your confidence in me. Waiting is difficult because it exposes what you truly believe. When you receive an immediate answer, celebration comes easily. When you see no movement, hidden fears begin to speak. You wonder whether you were forgotten. You question your ability. You reconsider old compromises. You become tempted to accept something beneath your values simply because you are tired of uncertainty. This is where I want you to become careful. My child, never let impatience make a decision that wisdom has warned you against. A temporary feeling of relief can create a long season of unnecessary pain. You know this because you have experienced it before. You rushed because you were lonely. You agreed because you feared missing an opportunity. You remained silent because you wanted approval. You spent what you did not have because you wanted to appear successful. You said yes while your heart was unsettled. Now I am teaching you to wait differently. Waiting does not mean doing nothing. If you are praying for better work, develop your skills, improve your application, learn, ask questions, and apply wisely. If you are praying for a healthier body, seek appropriate professional care when needed, improve the habits within your control, rest, and become consistent. If you are praying for restored relationships, examine your own communication, apologize where necessary, and stop repeating behaviors that create the same wounds. If you are praying for financial stability, learn to manage what is currently in your hands. Faith and responsibility can walk together. Do not use prayer as an excuse to avoid the step you already know you need to take. I may give you courage, but you must make the call. I may give you wisdom, but you must practice it. I may remind you of your value, but you must stop repeatedly returning to places that require you to abandon your dignity. I may open an opportunity, but you must be willing to prepare. This is why some seasons feel slow. Deep roots often grow where applause cannot see them. You want visible fruit, but I'm also concerned about the strength of the person who will carry that fruit. What happens if you receive influence without character? What happens if you receive abundance without discipline? What happens if you receive the relationship you prayed for but never learned healthy communication? What happens if a door opens and you are still controlled by the fear of everyone's opinion? Preparation is not punishment. Use this season. Read, learn, pray, rest, build. Correct what needs correction. Organize what you have neglected. Keep promises you make to yourself. Become consistent in small responsibilities. You keep looking for one enormous miracle while ignoring the quiet opportunities for transformation placed before you every morning. I want to change the way you define progress. Progress may be getting out of bed and completing one important task when sadness told you to disappear from the day. Progress may be saying no without writing a 10-page explanation. Progress may be going 1 week without returning to a harmful habit. Progress may be saving a small amount instead of spending everything. Progress may be praying before sending an angry message. Progress may be asking for professional help when a situation is beyond what you can manage alone. Do not insult small beginnings. There is another reason I am speaking to you about waiting. You have become too focused on signs. You want every small event to predict the future. You become anxious trying to decode everything. Return to simplicity, seek wisdom, read my word, pray, examine the fruit of a decision, ask whether it agrees with truth, love, integrity, and responsibility. Receive wise counsel from trustworthy people. You do not need to live in constant fear that one imperfect decision will destroy my ability to guide you. I know you want certainty, but courage often means moving faithfully while some questions remain unanswered. You can make the best decision available with the wisdom you have, remain humble, and adjust when new information comes. Do not become paralyzed, and stop measuring my love by the speed of an answer. If the answer is delayed, I still love you. If you must begin again, I still love you. If your plan changes, I still love you. If someone leaves, I remain near. If you are celebrated, I am with you. If no one applauds, I am still present. My love is not a prize awarded only when your life looks impressive. Today, I want you to release the deadline that has been choking your peace. You may have goals and plans. You may work with discipline. But stop telling yourself that your life is over if something does not happen by a particular age, month, or year. Your worth cannot be reduced to a calendar. Look at how far you have already come. There were moments when you believed you would never smile again, yet you did. There were nights when you thought the pain would never become lighter, yet here you are listening. You have learned things you never wanted to learn, through circumstances you never would have chosen. I will not waste the wisdom you have gained. Stay with me until the end, because I still need to speak about your family and the people you love. Some of your deepest anxiety is not about yourself, it is about someone whose name you carry in prayer. You are trying to control an outcome because you are afraid of what may happen if you release it. I will speak to that heart in the next part. If you believe that you can wait without surrendering your faith, type, "I trust your timing." If this message is helping you see your season differently, comment, "I will prepare." Do not type the words merely because I asked. Consider what preparation means in your actual life. Choose one responsible action you will take after this message ends. Let your faith become visible in your habits. Remain until the end. What I am about to say concerning the people you love may remove a burden you have carried for far too long. I know the names you whisper when you pray. I know the faces that appear in your mind when you ask me for protection. I know the person whose decisions keep you awake. You have tried to advise them. You have warned them. You have repeated yourself until your own heart became exhausted. Sometimes you wonder whether you should say more. At other times you wonder whether you have already said too much. Your love is real, but fear has begun to mix with that love, and now you feel responsible for controlling things that are beyond your authority. Listen carefully. You can love someone deeply without carrying responsibility for every choice they make. You can offer wisdom without forcing obedience. You can establish boundaries without withdrawing love. You can pray without spending every hour imagining disaster. I am teaching you to release control while remaining faithful. My child, the people you love also have decisions to make. You cannot live every lesson for them. There are truths they may understand only after experience humbles them. This does not mean you become careless. If someone is in immediate danger, seek appropriate help. If a child or vulnerable person needs protection, act responsibly. If wrongdoing is occurring, do not use silence and call it peace. Wisdom knows when to speak, when to act, and when to release. But many of your worries are not actions. They are repeated mental pictures of everything that could go wrong. You wake up and immediately check whether something has happened. You carry your phone like an alarm. Your body remains tense. You call it love, but fear is draining the strength you need to live your own life. Bring their names to me, pray clearly, then ask, "What is mine to do today?" Perhaps you need to send a kind message. Perhaps you need to apologize. Perhaps you need to have a firm conversation without shouting. Perhaps you need to stop giving money that is enabling harmful behavior. Perhaps you need to seek advice from someone qualified. Perhaps you need to do nothing today except pray and continue your own responsibilities. Learn the difference. Your family does not need a version of you who is destroyed by worry. They need your wisdom. They need your calm presence. They need truthful words spoken with love. They need to see that faith can produce patience and self-control. If every difficult conversation becomes an explosion, people stop hearing your message and begin protecting themselves from your anger. Guard your mouth. Words can remain in a person's memory long after an argument ends. You may apologize, but they may still hear the sentence you shouted when they are alone. This is why I tell you to slow down before speaking in anger. Walk away for a moment when possible. Pray. Drink water. Allow your body to settle. Return when you can speak clearly. Strength is not proven by volume, and when you make a mistake, apologize without decorating the apology with excuses. Say, "I was wrong. I should not have spoken to you that way." Do not immediately add, "But you made me angry." Take responsibility for your behavior. This is spiritual maturity. Humility can heal places. Pride keeps wounded. I want your home to become a place where truth and kindness can live together. Kindness without truth can enable destruction. Truth without kindness can become cruelty. Ask me for wisdom to carry both. There may be people in your family who do not understand your faith. Do not spend every gathering trying to win an argument. Let them observe the fruit of what you believe. Let them see greater patience. Let them see integrity. Let them see you admit when you are wrong. Let them see that prayer has not made you arrogant. A transformed life often speaks loudly without shouting. You are also allowed to enjoy your life while someone you love is still finding their way. You have felt guilty for smiling because another person is struggling. You have believed that if you relax, you are abandoning them. That is not always true. Rest can restore your ability to love wisely. Joy is not betrayal. I am asking you to return to your own responsibilities. Take care of your health. Complete your work. Spend time with people who strengthen you. Pray, sleep, eat, walk outside. Seek appropriate help when the weight becomes more than you can manage. You are a person, not a machine created to solve every problem in your family. I see the tenderness in your heart. I know why you worry. You have already experienced loss, and part of you is trying to prevent ever feeling that powerless again. But constant control cannot guarantee that pain will never visit you. What it can guarantee is exhaustion. I want to teach you courage instead. Courage says, I will love fully, act wisely, and trust God with what remains outside my hands. There are also people you need to stop rescuing from every consequence. Each time they refuse responsibility, you run to repair the situation. You call it mercy, but ask whether your actions are helping them grow or helping them avoid growth. Love sometimes supports. Love sometimes confronts. Love sometimes says no. Ask me for discernment. Do not make decisions from guilt. Guilt can be manipulated. A person may remind you of everything they have done for you to force you into something unhealthy. Honor people. Be grateful. But do not abandon wisdom to prove that you love them. I am bringing balance to your heart. You can pray for your family without worshiping the idea of a perfect family. Every home has human beings who are learning, failing, apologizing, and growing. Stop comparing your private struggles with another family's public photograph. Stay with me. The final part is important because I want to gather everything I have spoken and place it before you as a new way of living. I want to speak about your mourning, your thoughts, your habits, your courage, and the future. Do not leave before the end. If you are ready to place the people you love into my care while still doing your part with wisdom, comment, God, guide my family. If you choose to speak with greater patience and protect your home from unnecessary anger, type, let peace begin with me. Read your own words after you write them. Remember them during your next difficult conversation. I am not giving you a message only to make you emotional for a few minutes. I am giving you principles to practice. Continue with me now. The final words are for the life you will live after this message ends. Now you have reached this moment, and I want you to understand why I asked you to remain until the end. I did not want to give you a few beautiful sentences that disappear when the video ends. I wanted to lead you through the rooms of your heart where fear, regret, impatience, and worry have been living. I wanted you to see that peace is not merely something you wait to feel. There are ways you can protect it. There are choices you can make. There are thoughts you can challenge. There are habits you can change. There are prayers you can pray with honesty. Tomorrow morning, before you allow the noise of the world to enter your mind, remember me. Before you read every message, every headline, and every opinion, sit quietly for a moment. You do not need an elaborate performance. Speak to me. Tell me what concerns you. Give thanks for what is still good. Ask for wisdom concerning the responsibilities of that day. Read words that strengthen your faith. Begin your morning intentionally. My child, your mind needs direction. If you do not choose what deserves your attention, everything will compete for it. Fear will compete. Comparison will compete. Old memories will compete. Other people's emergencies will compete. You will reach the evening exhausted and wonder why you accomplished nothing that mattered. I want you to become a faithful steward of your attention. Write down your priorities. Do not create a list so impossible that failure is guaranteed before noon. Choose what truly matters. Complete one task at a time when possible. Rest between demanding responsibilities. Stop believing that constant exhaustion proves your value. You are allowed to work diligently without destroying yourself. When fear arrives, ask it a question. What is actually true right now? Perhaps the future is uncertain, but uncertainty is not the same as disaster. Perhaps someone has not replied, but silence is not automatic rejection. Perhaps a plan failed, but one failed plan is not a failed life. Learn to separate facts from the frightening stories your mind creates. Then bring the facts to me. Pray specifically. If there is an action to take, take it. If there is no action available, practice release. You may have to release the same concern many times. Do not become ashamed of returning to me. Come again. I would rather hear your honest prayer 100 times than watch you pretend to be strong while fear silently controls you. I want you to become courageous, but courage does not mean you never feel afraid. Courage means fear no longer receives the final vote. You can feel nervous and still make the call. You can feel uncertain and still ask the question. You can feel hurt and still choose not to become cruel. You can feel tired and still take one small faithful step. Remember your past, but remember it correctly. Do not remember only the pain. Remember the strength you discovered. Remember the person who helped you. Remember the prayer that carried you. Remember the lesson. Remember the day you finally said no. Remember the morning you realized you had survived. Your history contains evidence of endurance. I am not promising you a life without difficult days. I am promising that difficulty does not have to remove every good thing from your life. You can experience sorrow and still receive love. You can face uncertainty and still practice gratitude. You can grieve and still slowly heal. You can fail and still learn. You can lose an opportunity and still discover another direction. Stop waiting to become a perfect person before you begin living faithfully. Perfection is not the requirement for growth. Humility is valuable. Teachability is valuable. Consistency is valuable. When you fall, examine what happened. Ask for forgiveness where needed. Adjust. Stand again. I want you to stop calling yourself a failure every time you need to restart. Some of the strongest changes in your life will require many restarts. A person learning discipline may struggle. A person healing from years of unhealthy patterns may have difficult days. A person rebuilding trust must demonstrate consistency over time. Do not confuse a difficult process with an impossible future. Your future needs the wiser version of you that is being formed now. Protect that growth. Do not return to chaos because peace initially feels unfamiliar. Do not return to disrespect because loneliness visits for one evening. Do not abandon a good habit because you missed one day. Do not throw away an entire plan because one step went wrong. I am teaching you steadiness. When you receive good news, remain humble. When you receive criticism, examine it without allowing it to destroy your identity. If the criticism contains truth, learn. If it is false, do not carry it forever. When you gain more, remember generosity. When you become stronger, remember compassion. When a door opens, remember the lessons you learned while waiting outside. I have seen your heart become softer through pain, and I do not want bitterness to steal that tenderness. There are people you will encourage because you understand what loneliness feels like. There are people you will treat gently because you remember harsh words. There are people you will help because you remember needing help. Your wounds do not have to become weapons. They can become places where wisdom and compassion grow. Now I want you to make a decision. Not an emotional promise that lasts until tomorrow. Choose one practice from this message. Perhaps you will pray before checking your phone. Perhaps you will stop speaking cruelly to yourself. Perhaps you will create a boundary. Perhaps you will apologize. Perhaps you will take one step toward a goal you buried. Perhaps you will seek qualified support for a struggle you can no longer manage alone. Choose one thing and begin. I am near you in the beginning and in the process. I am with you when progress feels exciting and when discipline feels ordinary. Do not chase only emotional moments. Build a faithful life in ordinary days. If you receive these words and choose to apply them, type, Amen, I will walk in faith. If you believe I can guide you into greater peace, comment, my heart is open. Let your words remind you of today's decision. And now, if this message gave you hope like this video, subscribe so you can continue receiving messages of faith, peace, and encouragement. Share this video with a person who may be carrying a silent burden today. Your simple act of sharing may place encouragement before someone at the moment they need it. If you feel happy, comforted, and strengthened by these words, and you desire to support my ministry, you can use the support link given below. Give willingly, never from pressure or fear. Your support helps these messages continue reaching people who are searching for hope, prayer, and encouragement. Before you leave, hear me once more. You do not need to solve your entire life tonight. Take the next wise step, protect your heart, guard your words, release what you cannot control. Learn from your past without living inside it. Love your family without allowing fear to consume you. Prepare while you wait. Pray with honesty. Walk with humility. Begin again when necessary. I see the road before you, even when you can see only the next few steps. Hold tightly to faith, but also practice the wisdom I have placed before you. Let peace enter your decisions. Let patience enter your conversations. Let discipline enter your goals. Let forgiveness enter the places where bitterness has remained too long. Rise tomorrow with a new intention. You are still here. You can still learn. You can still love. You can still pray. You can still take another step. I hear you. I know your heart. I have not forgotten you. Walk forward with me. Amen.